Business Process Management. Business process management is a process-centric approach for improving business performance. It combines information technology with governance methodologies. So what is a business process exactly? A business process is essentially a standardized way to convert a set of inputs into a desired output that a customer would find valuable. An example would be a loan application at a bank. The customer supplies an electronic application form, typically via the bank's website. This information becomes the input into the loan application process. The business process itself may then consist of a credit check and other activities that enables the bank to make a decision about whether to approve the loan or not. The output of the business process is a decision that is communicated to the customer, followed by the money being paid into the correct customer's bank account. We can say that the business process transforms several inputs into specific and more valuable outputs. In general, we can define the output of the process as everything that emerges from the process. The primary output is what is desired by the customer, in this case, the money they wanted to borrow. The secondary output is perhaps an email notifying the customer of the decision. The input to the process is provided by one or more suppliers. This is often in the form of information. The customer can be an internal customer like a manager at the bank, or the external customer who applied for the loan. Even another subsequent process can be thought of as a customer that is consuming the information created by the first process. Any entity that demands and consumes process output is considered as a customer. The three pillars of BPM is technology, people and processes. All three aspects need to work for a BPM project to be a success. The business process needs to be fit for purpose and actually satisfy the demands of all the stakeholders. The people aspect also need to work. If the customer neglects to provide all the required information, the web page will alert him or her that the application form is incomplete. If a manager forgets to approve a certain process step, she will get an alert, and if she still ignores it, the alert will escalate to her manager, and the so-called process owner will also get an alert that the process is stuck. This level of visibility is impossible to achieve without good technology. For the automation to work smoothly, the information system needs to work seamlessly all of the time. It normally takes a large team of experts with IT and business knowledge to implement a BPM project. The project team will study a related set of business processes in great detail and then try to redesign it, with the objective of optimizing it so it is fit for purpose. This happens during the design phase of the project, where the processes are carefully designed to be as simple and straightforward as possible, so it can be completed in the shortest possible amount of time without making mistakes. During the modeling and simulation phase of the project, the process is documented in the form of an activity model. It is then possible to simulate the behavior of the system and try out different scenarios through a what-if approach. Once the process is approved by management, it is deployed. This occurs during the execution phase of the project. The project team will then monitor the performance of the business process to see if anything goes wrong. This is the monitoring phase. If any problems arise, changes will be made to further optimize the process to take care of exceptions. This occurs during the optimization phase of the project. A good BPM implementation will increase the visibility of the bank's activities, making it easy to monitor and control the critical business processes of the bank. It provides management with an increased ability to identify bottlenecks, make improvements where needed, and reassign resources to meet customer demand. It also provides an increased ability to identify further areas of optimization that will improve customer satisfaction or lower transaction costs. A good BPM system normally contributes significantly to reduced lead times, so the customer hears about the decision of the bank within days rather than weeks. BPM ensures better definition of the duties and the roles of the employees of the company. It's also a good tool for fraud prevention, auditing, and assessment of regulatory compliance. BPM system prevents the unfortunate situation where a customer who phoned to inquire about her loan application is transferred from one individual to the next and to the next, with all of them saying, "Sorry, it's not my decision, but let me transfer you to the person who deals with it." BPM uses a cross-functional approach, so the work is automatically moved from one desk to the next, without any need for manual intervention. Of course, training is crucial to ensure employees and managers know what is expected of them. Before a BPM initiative is launched, it is really important to get the buy-in and active support of senior management. The project leader needs to manage the expectation of all the stakeholders. Once the system is operational, the project is not yet complete. The team needs to listen to the customer feedback and make further improvements. In general, all the principles of change management needs to be followed to ensure success, because everybody's job will be a bit different after the project is done. Bill Gates once said, "The first rule of any technology is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. The second rule is that automation applied to an inefficient operation will magnify the inefficiency." It is important to remember that the information technology being used is simply an enabler that can take the business, its processes and management to new heights. It can create new, faster and more effective businesses if used correctly, but it can't fix broken processes. The following are common mistakes when implementing a BPM system. It is a bad idea to start configuring the software too early, well before the business process has been studied and potentially re-engineered. Thinking in silos is also a bad idea. Many functions need to contribute to a business process, and unless it crosses functional boundaries, it is unlikely to create true value for either the company or the customer. Ignoring end users is also a recipe for disaster. Their needs and wants must be paramount. If the redesigned and newly automated process does not improve their experience of the service, then it is unlikely to be a success. Never use a BPM project to reduce headcount as the primary objective. People will find out and do their best to sabotage the project. People like to say, "Do it right the first time," but this is often unrealistic in a complex business environment. The idea is to build a flexible system that can be quickly adapted to changes in the business environment, for example, changes in banking regulations. It is a very bad idea to hardwire the framework. Not supporting users through adequate training and support is also a common mistake. And don't forget to celebrate when the system starts to deliver good results. People need to see that their efforts are appreciated. Relying on long-held beliefs or gut feel is dangerous, and it is better to trust the analytical data that the system generates to decide where to move your resources. Automating failure is a very common mistake. A bad business process that becomes fully automated will simply do the wrong thing more quickly. However, if BPM is implemented in the correct way and a good change management process is followed, it can have dramatic benefits for the business.